Arma Reforger is quickly rising in popularity since its release on PlayStation 5. With its amazing graphics and attention to detail, it's not a surprise the battlefield is being flooded with a ton of new players. Deploying to battle for the first time, however, players are quickly met with the realization that this is not Call of Duty, and it's going to take a lot more than running and gunning to win these battles. To help clear the smoke and get new players on targets, here's 5 things I wish I knew before playing Arma Reforger. Number 1. Supplying the front line wins games. You are in the middle of a firefight when suddenly, your weapon stops firing and you are quickly overcome by the enemy and sent on a one-way trip back to main. What happened? Well, it would seem you ran out of ammo and none of the surrounding bases have any stashes available to replenish them. This can oftentimes leave you having to walk miles back to the front lines, but by then the enemy has secured and are now dug in. Supply runs are absolutely essential to winning the game, and they are a great way for you to learn maps and the mechanics of the game, such as building and deploying the right things where they're needed. As player focused on logistics, not only do you support the team, but you gain a lot of experience helping you climb those ranks for when you feel like switching things up later in the fight. You can look at the map and hover above bases captured by your team to view how many supplies are needed, or for more immersion, get on the radio and ask your teammates where they require the most supplies. You can load up your vehicle at the main operating base or at any supply depot located around the map marked by this green icon. Different vehicles can carry different amount of supplies, but generally speaking, the larger the vehicle, the more supplies you can carry at once. Simply back your vehicle up to the command tent, supply area, head to the back of the vehicle. You can then use the interactive menu to select load until you hit capacity. If you need to get supplies somewhere faster, helicopters can also carry them. Just try not to crash. Number 2, zeroing your weapon for battle. Have you ever found yourself firing at a target standing still and wondering why you aren't hitting them? Is it a registration issue? Is it lag? Am I just not good? All 3 of these options are possible, especially the last one, but we're going to talk about the more likely culprit, your weapon. To compensate for bullet drop over distance, your sight has to be zeroed or adjusted to the desired distance. If you pay attention to the lower right hand corner of your screen, when you have a weapon equipped, you will see the zero distance indicator, in this case 100m, which stands for 100 meters. As a soldier on the battlefield, it is important to keep in mind the distance from your enemy when engaging your targets. For example, if your enemy is 300 meters away, but you are 0 to 100 meter, aiming at their chest may actually land your round by their feet. This is because gravity pulls the rounds down towards the earth. The further the enemy is, the more noticeable this can be. Zeroing essentially raises your sight picture, allowing you to aim the barrel of your weapon higher to compensate for the distance. It is important to realize that most weapons will come with a battle zero. This is a preset number based on how far you are likely to be engaging enemies on a regular basis. For the M16, this is 300 meters, and for the AK-47, this is 440 meters. You adjust your zeroing by tapping the page up and down, or the up and down on the D-pad on console. With this knowledge, you should now be able to be much more accurate and effective on the battlefield. Maybe. Number 3, the enemy can hear you.
I'm happy I TK'd you. You should be.
Proximity chat in Arma Reforger is done extremely well, but keep in mind that the enemy can also hear you. If you're attempting to sneak up on enemies, it's important to stay quiet not to give away the element of surprise. If an enemy downs you, they can also take your radio and listen into the conversations happening on the net. This adds a unique and amazing layer to the gameplay, allowing players to intercept and assault opposition by knowing exactly where they're going and what they plan to do. To counter this, it's important to use code names for each point and not the name of the towns on the map. These change around every game, making it hard for your enemy to know what you are talking about. If you think your comms have been compromised, you should let your team know right away. Great squad leaders will even hold briefings at the beginning of the game to discuss contingency plans in case these events happen, like code words to switch to alternate channels. Proximity chat can work for you and against you. Try to stay quiet when you're close to enemies, as your name may also pop up on the side when you are within 50 meters of an enemy. Number 4, flashlights. Active day and night cycles in Arma Reforger make the game feel more immersive. Nighttime in game is extremely dangerous and you may be tempted to turn on your flashlight to help you see where you're going. This obviously though makes you a huge target in the pitch black condition. If you find yourselves needing to illuminate the path ahead of you, this is where things gets really interesting. There are different colors you can use and they behave differently. White light is the brightest but can also be seen from much further away. Red light is harder for enemies to see from a distance but also doesn't shine as far, making it harder to see. There are other colors such as blue that you can use to make it easier to identify your teammates in the dark. You can even consider using things such as flares that can be fired from M203 grenade launchers and will illuminate the entire area for you and your enemy. Get creative with how you employ these assets, but understand with great visibility comes great shootability. Finally, at number 5, and probably one of the most important tips I can give you, do the tutorial. The old saying, if you've played one shooter, you've played them all, does not apply in the Mill Sim world. Arma Reforger, just like its competition, is an extremely detailed game that only gets more complex with each update. Though it is arguably easier to pick up and run with than some other games, I can't stress how well enough and how well thought out the tutorial is. Whether you are a Mill Sim veteran or just hopping into the genre for the first time, I highly suggest giving the tutorial a run through. You'll be able to learn everything from navigation to using advanced systems built into the game. The knowledge you'll garner from this tutorial will make you a much better player and help you to get over the learning curve. You will also 100% enjoy the game more when you are not confused about what's going on during battles. You'll be able to employ the skills learned during the tutorial and combine it with tips and tricks you pick up while playing the game with other players. Arma is like DayZ in a sense, where no matter how much hours you put into it, there's always something new to learn. A plus is that the entire tutorial has voice acting and is presented in an open world format, allowing you to focus on what you need help with. Whether it's navigation, shooting, or learning to pilot helicopters, it's definitely worth taking a look at and playing the full tutorial. To conclude this video, Arma Reforger is an extremely fun title that is rapidly rising in popularity. Its rich and detailed game mechanics are refreshing and it is easily one of the best Mill Sims on the market with its cross-playability between Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. I hope this video will help you enjoy the game even more or give you an advantage if you haven't started playing yet. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. If you want to see me play live, I am live on Twitch weekdays at 10 AM Eastern at Mr. Royal RG. This has been 5 things I wish I knew before playing Arma Reforger. Mr. Royal